Tell me if this is you. You're in the gym 3 to 4 times a week. You're eating what you think is clean and you're putting in the work. But weeks go by and the fat just doesn't come off. And now you're sitting here watching yet another YouTube video, trying to figure out what's missing. So in this video, I'll save you the next few hours you'll spend researching. Look, the reason why nothing's worked out for you so far is probably because exercise is the last thing you need for fat loss.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know that sounds counterintuitive, but this is exactly what my client did to help him lose 34 kilograms of fat, and how it can help you too. By the end of this video, it'll make complete sense. So let me tell you about this client who will grow through, make more sense later. He came to me at 134 kg. He'd been training with a personal trainer for 6 months, 3 times a week, and did not lose a single pound of fat. Seriously, 6 months. So the first thing I did was tell him to cut back his training, eat more than he's ever eaten before, and he thought I was trying to sabotage him. But in the first 2 weeks, without counting a single calorie, he started to drop weight. Here's why. Fitness has basically 3 pillars: mental, physical, and nutrition. Most people think about nutrition last. That's the first thing you need to think about right after you made the intention to change. Mental always comes first. And that's not entirely your fault. The hardest habits to break are usually the ones we've had the longest, and the ones we enjoy the most. If you grew up with parents who use junk food as a treat, who never taught you about fiber, protein, and proportioning your plate, that's not your fault. But you're an adult now, and you need to take responsibility for your own health. But you're watching this video, so you're already ahead of most. Here's what you need to know. Nutrition is about 70% of the journey. Some might say 90%, but that's because you can't outrun a bad diet. Well, there's actually a debate for that. Video for another time. But if you're overeating, especially on junk food, no amount of exercise fixes that. You won't even have the energy to train hard enough to burn it off because your micronutrients are so poor. So in this video, I'm not teaching you calories in, calories out. I'm teaching you exactly what I taught my client. We'll call him Thor because his journey is almost identical to what you're about to hear. Kind of. So you're overweight and you've tried different exercises and none of it's worked. Here's what we're going to do instead. At least 3 days of strength training a week. Strength training means lifting something heavy relative to your ability. For simplicity, a weight you can lift for 6 to 10 reps. Don't overthink that number. Muscle growth isn't tied to a specific rep range. It comes from tension, from pushing a muscle close to failure. You'd get similar growth anywhere between 4 to 30 reps, as long as you're training near your limit. I'm using 6 to 10 reps because it's the sweet spot. Heavy enough to build strength without wrecking your nervous system, making it harder for you to recover between sessions. Light enough that you're not grinding out endless reps to reach failure. And for a beginner, it gives you a few extra reps to practice your form. The rule either way: train hard, train safe, push close to failure or right at failure. Inshallah, you'll get stronger week on week. Some weeks you'll plateau, and that's fine as long as the long-term trend is upwards. Here's how progression works. Start with a weight you can do for 6 reps. Add a rep each week. Once you hit 10 reps with good form, you can increase the weight and go back to 6. Repeat. Now, training volume, how many sets you do, does matter, but not as much as how hard a set is and the quality of the rep. You don't need high volume to grow. 2 genuinely hard sets taken close to failure with a challenging weight can and will build muscle. More sets done well can generally build muscle a bit faster, but there's a point of diminishing returns. However, if you can manage 2 hard sets to failure, getting stronger each week, you'll still gain muscle, inshallah. And if you want an actual plan, 1 hour, 3 days a week, 3 hours in a whole week, the link is down below. I've given you a free plan. You know what? I'll go even further. I'll give you a 2-day, 3-day, and 4-day plan designed by me so you can pick whichever fits your schedule. You're welcome. Here's the thing. Training alone isn't going to get the fat off. What I'm about to show you next is where the fat loss actually happens. And you're probably not doing nearly enough of it. Steps. Yes, you've heard it. 10,000 steps a day. That number matters less than you think. The story goes, it started as a marketing campaign from a Japanese pedometer company after the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. The device was literally named 10,000 step meter. Around the same period, a study found the average Japanese adult walked closer to 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day. 10,000 was a round, ambitious sounding target more than a scientifically derived one. What research from the last decade actually shows is all-cause mortality meaningfully drops around 4,000 steps. And benefits mostly flatten out around 7,000 to 8,000 steps for anyone under 60. 10,000, there's no really extra health benefits. But you do keep burning more calories the more you move. That's the part I want to focus on, not the number. just doing more than you currently do. Here's the plan. Get a cheap step tracker, 20, 30 pounds off eBay, or just use your phone. But be aware, it will undercount by around 500 to 1,000 steps if your phone's not constantly on you. Track yourself for 3 days to find your baseline, even if it's only 2,000 steps. Then add 1,000 steps a day on top of that. Try to add 500 more each day, but any increase means more calories burned. So on average, 10,000 steps a day burns anywhere between 300 to 500 calories. The heavier you are, the more you burn. Let's say you actually burn an additional 500 calories a day. That's half a kilo of fat loss a week just from walking. It matters. And you don't need the gym for this. Walk laps in the garden. Do tawaf. Just don't worship anything while you're at it. Walk while you're on the phone, watching TV. Throw in some bodyweight squats and lunges while you're waiting for the kettle. Do some dhikr. This is what we call habit stacking. Move your printer further from your desk. Take the stairs 10 times up and down. Every increase in pace or distance adds up. You'll feel the difference. Better circulation, less fatigue, more energy throughout the day. Sounds too simple to work, right? Walking more equals more fat loss. But when I show you an actual breakdown of where your calories go in the day, you'll see exactly why this is the cheat code that fitness trainers keep obsessing about, but no one really explains. Because what we're really trying to do here is increase your NEAT, non-exercise activity, thermogenesis. Simply put, these are the calories you burn when you're not exercising. Walking to the kitchen, fidgeting, just moving through your day. The more calories you burn at rest, the easier it is to lose fat, because these calories are almost effortless. Here's the thing that most people don't realize. Exercise is actually a slice of the calories you burn in a day. Most of it comes from your NEAT and your basal metabolic rate, not the hour you spend in the gym. Think about that one friend who has abs without really trying, barely trains, says he eats whatever he wants, but never seems to sit still, always fidgeting, always restless, up and down even when watching a film. That's not luck. That's NEAT. He's burning calories all day without even realizing. And a lot of guys like this also gravitate towards sports that involve constant moving, like football, rugby, tennis, on top of just being naturally active. And yes, there is a genetic factor in play here, but that's exactly what we're building for you here. 3 strength days to build and maintain muscle, and steps to raise your NEAT so you're burning fat more easily even while resting. Now, is cardio bad? Not at all. Running, cycling, anything extra you fit throughout the week is great, and it'll burn more calories. It might tire you out a bit more and make you hungrier, but there's no issue with adding it in, especially for long-term heart health. For the first 2 weeks though, we want to keep this as simple as possible. You can layer in more later. If you're working with a coach, they can adjust your calories and carbs up when you need extra energy, which helps you stop the hunger creeping in. But for now, focus on these simple, smart choices for the first 2 weeks. But your biggest problem is still nutrition. So let's get into it. Calories in, calories out is a fundamental principle of weight loss. If you want that weight to be fat specifically, you need to eat enough protein and train while in a calorie deficit, burning more than you consume. That's it. You will lose fat, inshallah. It's one of the laws of physics in a world that Allah created. It is physically, biologically, physiologically impossible not to lose weight. But I promised you this would be simple. Like Thor, in his first week, he lost around 1.5 kg down from 134 to 132 kg without counting a single calorie. The following week, he lost another 1.7 kg down to 130.8 kilograms. Here's exactly how he did it. With every client I have in the first 2 weeks, especially if they've never counted calories before, I don't make them. Instead, I teach them better alternatives while enjoying the foods they already eat, alongside education on calories and macros. After 2 weeks, we start counting calories where necessary. Step 1, you write down everything you eat in a normal day. Don't change anything, just track it. Take photos of your meals too. If you don't have a coach, do this for 3 to 4 days. Then move on to the next step. You've got 2 options. Simplest one, half everything you normally eat and double the lean protein. That's it. Do that, plus the training and steps we've covered, and you will lose weight. If it's moving too slowly, cut a bit more food. During those 2 weeks, study calories in, calories out. There's a free PDF down below, plus a link to our website that will calculate your macros for you for free. And that's it. But for those who want to go a level deeper and do exactly what Thor did, here it is. Option 2. Thor's from a traditional South Asian household, so his main carb sources are rice, parathas, chapatis. We picked 1. Rice as his default to have for the next 2 weeks, and he gets to have either chapatis or parathas once a week. That's it. And that made up a third of his plate. You like this? Third of your plate is going to be the main carb source. You pick one. Another third to half of the plate will be lean protein. Whichever takes your fancy. Here's a list of all the different lean proteins you can have. Thor usually had chicken or lamb with the fat visibly trimmed off. Most days he'd marinate or grill his chicken thighs and breast himself. The other days, when he was a bit busier and at work, his mom's cooking sufficed. Just with the curry sauce kept minimal. This is the most important part where people overdo it. Enough for flavor, not enough to cover the whole plate. So if you have a third of the plate of protein, the rest of the plate will be low calorie carbs, preferably high in fiber. These are your leafy greens and sometimes even fruits, but I suggest you have fruits separate to your main meal. Or if you're having half of your plate protein, then just this green section here, at least 2 to 3 finger spans, will be your low calorie carbohydrates, your greens and your veggies. Tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, rocket, asparagus, whatever he liked. This is where we can fill up with volume and eat as much of it as we want to keep us full and satiated. If you normally have 2 to 3 plates of rice and curry, pasta, whatever, cut it down to 1 plate less. And it's a simple swap. Rice for pasta, pasta for rice, whatever fits your kitchen and your culture. You just need one main carb source. So remember this, especially for you Bengalis out there, sometimes we have chicken and potato curry and then rice. Nope, you're gonna have chicken curry with rice, or you're gonna half the rice and half the potato amount so you can get the carb source fitting in here. So that means the rice and potatoes have to fit here, not just this much rice and this much potatoes. Nuh-uh. They're 2 major carb sources. You pick one or you half both. Now your treats. This is the one place where I do want you thinking about calories. If chocolate or cake, even biscuits is your daily thing, swap it for a high protein, low calorie ice cream or ice lolly. Seriously, Aldi, most of your supermarkets will have plenty in stock. Well, unless it's a really hot day, and they're not expensive. That's already if you ever go to treat. And if it's in a packet, just look at the calories at the back. Buy anything with less calories. Simple. Here's an easy way to make this foolproof. If you don't have a coach, take a photo of your usual meal, upload it to ChatGPT, Gemini, any AI tool of your preference. Ask for the calories, protein and macros. Then design a slightly smaller version of that same plate, but with a bit more protein. And photograph that too. Send it back to the AI and ask how much it is now. It'll be an estimate, but a very good estimate, and they're getting better over time. Fats and carbs aren't the priority right now. Total calories and protein are. Do that consistently and you lose weight. Protein target. Roughly 1 gram per pound of body weight or 2.2 grams per kilo. For you right now, because you're most likely moderately obese or very overweight, you do not actually need this much. You can genuinely get away with 0.7 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. What this really means is, if you are 100 kilograms, you can get away with around 140 to 150 grams of protein a day. For now, you absolutely can, because you do not have the muscle mass required to have that much protein to maintain or build muscle. You're not there yet. As you lean down, you lose fat and build more muscle, you can increase your protein slowly over time. Do this for 2 weeks and you're already on your way, inshallah. Now, everything I just showed you works. The training, the steps, the nutrition. You can take all of this, start today. But here's what I've seen over and over again with brothers who try to do this alone. And honestly, this is probably the 50th video you've watched, and you have all the knowledge, just like the other brothers. They know what to eat. They know how they should train. But there's no one holding them to a higher standard. No one picking them back up when they fall off for a week, and a week becomes a month. No one adjusting the plan when life gets busy. No one to save you from those beginner mistakes that prolong your progress. So if you're a Muslim man who's tired of carrying that extra weight, tired of feeling sluggish after every meal, tired of avoiding the mirror and not liking what you see when you do look, and you want to get to the point where you actually feel strong, you feel light, you have energy for your kids, for your wife, for your salah, and you have the means to invest fully into your health, then click the first link in the description. There's a free 12-minute training that explains exactly how our coaching program works, how it's helped brothers in your exact situation, and how it can finally help you gain the best shape of your life, inshallah. Watch that, and if it resonates with you, apply and book your free one-to-one diagnostic session with me. If you're a good fit, we'll speak personally and put a plan together for you, inshallah. And remember, my brother, the Prophet ﷺ was described as having broad shoulders and a chest in line with his stomach. He was lean, strong and active. That's the standard we should be holding ourselves to. But whatever you do after this video, just take one step today. Fix one meal. Get your steps in. Hit the gym. Just do something. Start today, not next Monday. May Allah accept our efforts and make it easy for every single one of you watching this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.